Today we begin a new series, Stories That Change Our Lives. I know they at least changed mine, so I hope they'll have an impact on yours. And based upon these stories being very widespread, and they've been being published for countless decades, I'm sure there is a reason that they have lasted. And today's story is actually called Get the Man Right. But the real deep message in this story to me is how to truly be effective. How to truly be effective. And I know as we're all sitting here today, we're at kind of a point A in our lives, and we all kind of in our minds have a point B. I'm pretty sure the best path to point B is to be effective. So without further ado, here is the story, and I want to emphasize this is not my story. It's used in a lot of books, so I don't think anybody really knows whose story it is exactly. But here it is. Once upon a time, there was a truly successful businessman. And his company had faithfully served millions of people over the course of a couple of decades. And it's not McDonald's, I don't think, but recently the business had fallen on really hard times, and they were massively losing market share, and nobody seemed to know what the problem was. And all of the fellow competitors, they were circling around like sharks, waiting for this once proud establishment to fail so that they could capitalize and gain more market share. The owner of the company, he knew he needed to do something, but he didn't have a plan. So he kind of threw a little bit of a Hail Mary, and he announced he was going to be hosting a dinner where he thanked all of the employees, and he was going to unveil a plan that would restore the company back to its former glory. And he knew he needed to do this because there was lots of whispering going on behind the scenes and people thinking about leaving. And he scheduled this dinner for basically a month away. And he thought, man, this month goes by, I'm surely going to be able to come up with a plan. But it literally came down to the Saturday morning before the dinner was going to take place, and he had nothing. Complete and utter writer's block. And he was in his office, he had his pen on his paper, and he could not get a word out. And it was at that moment that his wife walked into his room and announced, honey, you've not been home a lot, you've been working a lot, and I've got this long list of errands I need to run. And I need to go out and run the errands for a few hours. The important part of this was when she said, I need you to watch Junior for a few hours. Junior was his 6-year-old son. The man was about to stand up and protest. I got to come up with this plan. I can't watch Junior. But his conscience got the best of him, and he knew he needed to do what was right and watch his son, who he really hadn't seen a lot of. And he thought, he's probably going to be off playing video games anyhow, so I'll be able to come up with my plan. So he hears the front door close, and he's got his pen on his paper, he's still got his writer's block, and he hears a knock on his door. And it's his little son holding a football. And he said, Dad, would you go out and throw the ball with me? Really ripped the guy in the gut. And even though he wanted to come up with his plan, his conscience got the best of him again. But he knew he had to go out and throw the ball with his son. And they're out there in the front yard, and he's actually throwing the ball really far, so his son's got to run. And while his son's running to get the ball, he's like trying to think up ideas in his head, and he's just got nothing. The son runs up to him with the ball and says, Daddy, I need to use the bathroom. So they go walking inside, and the man's standing there outside the bathroom door waiting for his son to come out. When on the coffee table, he sees his wife's stack of magazines. And on the top magazine, it's about how the World Wide Web is taking over the world. And it's then that a light bulb in his head goes off. And he picks up the magazine and he thumbs to this particular article. And in the front of the article, there is a picture of the world. There's a picture of the world. and he rips it out. Right about then, his son comes out of the bathroom and says, "Let's go throw the ball, Dad." But the man says, "No, son, we're going to play a new game and it's going to be really fun." And he shows his son a picture of the world, and then he rips it up into like 50 pieces. And they go into the family room, at which point he tosses them into there and they all go fluttering back to the ground. And he tells his son, "Son, if you can put together this map of the world, I'm going to give you $20. And not only that, but I'm going to take you to your favorite ice cream shop." And the little boy is just like super, super excited. He had been saving for a toy since Christmas, and plus he just really wanted to go get ice cream with his dad. And he was hoping when he went to get ice cream with his dad that his dad wouldn't bring his phone in. He was hoping his dad wouldn't bring his phone in. So the kid gets busy trying to put together the map of the world. And the businessman, he goes strutting off into his office and he's like, "It's just that sort of genius that's going to save my company." Now, he knew his son hadn't had geography class yet. And any parents that are watching this video, I hope you're not taking notes on that part. The man sits down and he actually writes, "Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here tonight." Maybe been like 10 minutes. Knock on the door. There's his son. And he's holding up a perfectly taped up map of the world. And the man kind of sighs that he's never going to get his plan done. But at the same point, he's thinking his son must be some sort of childhood prodigy that he could tape up a map to the world that fast. And he's thinking to himself, he didn't get that from his mother's side. But he tells his son to come over. And he says, "Son, Daddy is so proud of you. How did you put together that map of the world so fast?" And the little boy looks at him and says, "Dad, I'm only 6. I haven't had geography class yet. I didn't know what the world was supposed to look like. But when the papers went to the ground, a couple of them flipped over. And I saw on the other side, it was the face of a man. And I recognized that man from TV. So I flipped over all the pieces to show the face of the man. And then I taped them up together, and there was the face of the man from TV. And he knew. He goes, I knew if I flipped it over, there would be the world, just how it should be." He said, "Dad, I knew if I got the man right, the world would be right." And the man's like, wait a minute, son, what did you just say? Could you say that again? And the son says, "Yeah, Dad, I knew if I got the man right, that the world would be right." The man knew he had his speech for the night. He knew he had his plan for the night. They went and got ice cream. His phone stayed on the table. They had some of the best vanilla and cookies and cream ice cream they had ever had. And the man told his son, "You gave me my speech for the night. If you get the man right, the world will be right." And from that point forward, the man knew he had to care about his team members deeper than they had ever comprehended. He knew he needed to get himself right. And not only did his company go back to its former glory, it transcended it. In our lives, if we want to be truly effective, we have to realize the only thing that we can affect is ourselves. If we really want to be effective in our lives, the only thing we can affect is ourselves. Carl Jung has absolutely one of my favorite quotes that really illustrates what this story is about. Carl Jung said, "Most of our important problems, they don't need to be solved. We only need to grow beyond them." Most of our important problems don't need solved. We simply need to outgrow them. If you want to get your world right, look in the mirror and get yourself right. If you want to be truly effective, remember the only thing that you can affect is yourself. Catch you next week for The Fisherman.
Wayne Dyer once said, "If you correct your mind, the rest of your life will fall into place." I hope our channel helps piece together the puzzles of your life. Thank you so much for watching, and please hit like, subscribe, and share.